Shalom, 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 shalom. Go ahead and check the stream to make sure everything is tawab. Check the sound. Bear with me, Babak Shah. Bear with me. Let me see. All right, I can hear it. All right, cool. All right. So with that, of course, I want to start off by saying call Haloyim, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders, the great millstone that rule and teach well. Peace and shalom to the Akim out there in the elect, which the elect consists of the men, women, and children selected to make it out of here from the coming nuclear destruction. All right. I'm the brother Zion Allah, the DC camp, coming at you with another video. And I named this one, if you see the screen here, I named this one Extreme Explicit Bias Towards Israelites Than Any Other Nation. Okay, we are truly cursed. Okay, extreme explicit bias towards Israelites than any other nation. And this lesson is inspired off of the screen here. You see, you click to it. What you see on the screen here, this is about a big bro, Elder Karatazaba in Baltimore. And we had a pleasure of, holding camp with the brother this past weekend. And, beautiful brother, beautiful camp, beautiful spirit as always. Okay. And shalom, Yahba Shem Shah Barakatham to those brothers. All right. This video right here says this agent Christian is completely out of his mind. And I watched this video earlier. Now, I was going through, and of course, this demon, typical person coming up against the Israelites, could be an agent, could be just someone just all the way lost, just coming up against the truth because their kingdom is falling down. However whatever they are, you name whatever they are. But at the end of the day, they're of the spirit of error. They're coming against the truth. Right? He says some things in here, and then you know what? I was thinking to myself, you know what? He has some nerve to say that those people in that land are the real Israelites and that they're catching all our hell. And the brother was beautifully putting up clips of the hell that Israelites are catching, right? And in my mind, I was thinking, the Lord put the spirit on me to think of, people treat us bad even in their subconscious mind. Brothers, I know brothers in different camps had these talks before, how even in the subconscious mind, we're treated differently. And what I mean by subconscious, sub meaning under, the thought behind the thought, the deep thoughts in the mind. Basically, matter of fact, let me just go ahead and get this definition right here because they linked it up to explicit bias. All right, it's going to explain it better. Now, this right here is a picture. All right, this right here is a picture of what I took earlier. Right, and it says, bear with me. It says, because I typed in there, you know how Google AI has a has their little AI search when you put in Google. They have their own AI now. They've been had it for some time now, right? You have your DeepSeek, you have your Chat GPT. Google has their little AI. So I typed in there, are black people? So of course, it's so-called, but because nobody on the planet Earth is black. All right, but I just put it so that the system can understand. So I put black people treated differently subconsciously in the subconscious mind, right? And they said, yes, research suggests that black people, so-called, okay, because that's a curse that's been put upon our people, so-called black people can be subconsciously treated unfairly or negatively due to implicit bias. Okay, we're going to go through this term now. It says, what is implicit bias? Matter of fact, I'm going to make this bigger so you can read it better on the screen, right? It says, what is implicit bias? It says implicit bias refers to unconscious attitudes, stereotypes, or associations that affect our understanding, actions, and decisions. Now they say unconscious, right? All right, that also links up with subconscious, All right, matter of fact, let me do a separate tag. All right, because I know the definition. I just want them to say it. Subconscious, right? All right. This is Edom Online. The subconscious as an adjective, not wholly conscious, feeble, conscious, also pertaining to the unconscious. All right. So subconscious and unconscious are synonymous, right? In a psychological sense, mental process taking place without consciousness. So it's underneath the mind. Okay. For example, I'll give you an example, right? Um, you know the phrase that we always use, right? When people obviously treat us different than Esau, we say, "Hey, you wouldn't do this if it was the so-called white man," right? And you know they wouldn't because the subconscious mind, the unconscious mind, is already in them to fear Esau. In their subconscious, they already naturally fear Esau, and they naturally treat Esau better than the Israelites. We know this. The same thing applies to Eve, the so-called black Latino and Native American woman. We say, look, if we was the so-called white man, you would give us more respect. You wouldn't be treating us like you do now. And those statements are true because it's the subconscious. All right, they're affected by their subconscious, the conscious rooted deep underneath the conscious, and it exists. Okay, how we're treated. All right, the disrespect that comes towards us, that implicit bias, if you will, as we're getting into, is all a curse. Is all a curse. In the kingdom of Yahweh Shemiel Shai, when the Israelites are ruling, right, are ruling, guess what? The lowest in the kingdom of heaven is going to be the Edomites. All right, people are going to naturally treat them horrible. They're going to treat them low. They're going to treat them like pieces of shit. Okay, because we're ruling. All right, they're going to respect us. They're going to fear us. Right. All right, but they're going to hate Esau. It's like, for example, you know how you look at these other nations and you're like, man, man, they want to be white so bad. Like you look at Moabites, you're like, man, they want to be white so bad because in their subconscious they feel that Esau is where to be. Since he's ruling, they feel as though he's winning. Right, he's the face of rulership on the planet Earth. Therefore, they want to be like him. You see a lot of Moabites, they'll walk around with an umbrella so that they don't get a tan. Moabites, Ammonites, because they don't want to get darker. There's a saying that they have as far as, I don't know if it's Ammon or Moab, but they're pretty much saying they don't want to eat too much soy sauce so they'll get darker. Because in their subconscious mind, especially the Moabite woman or Ammonite woman, they believe that Esau is God. Okay? That's why you always see those women with an Edomite. And some of those women will say that their very own man of their nation are ugly. And they'll rather get with an Edomite. Okay? Because in their subconscious mind, they feel as though they've been defeated. They're a lesser nation. And that Esau is a ruling and powerful nation. And they want to be like Esau. This stuff truly exists. Right? Like I told you, it goes back to those even little examples that I said. If we were the so-called we for example, we said when we're out there at camp, right? We said when we're out there at camp sometimes you got people coming up wilding out to us and stuff like that. They over talking us, they're interrupting our speech while we're trying to teach. And don't we say, hey, if we was the so-called white man up here with suits and ties, you would give us all the benefit of the doubt. You would give us all the respect in the world. Haven't you heard brothers through the years say that? Absolutely. Because in their subconscious mind, Jake, right, they would treat Esau with more respect. Okay? Because Esau is looked at as the ruler over this planet Earth. Okay? If you go to one of these niggas in the hood and say, man, you bet you'll bow down to the so-called white man, they'll probably, curse you out. I don't bow down to nobody, nigga, and all this, but their actions speak otherwise. I remember I had a discussion with the elder Kasap in the camp, and he said that I think he saw a video or something like that where this young Jake, this YN, all right, it was an Edomite. You know how gentrification happens. It was this Edomite that was walking on the same side as he was on the street, right? And I guess incoming, and he was coming one way, they were coming towards him, and he got across the street. All right, he got across the street because it was an Edomite, and he didn't want any problems or something like that. And this is a wild thug, one of them wild YNs, man. All right. Think the elder Kasat was going into that like, hey, there's a white woman, so I don't want no parts of that, something like that. I don't want to, get involved and get in trouble. So they fear Esau, but guess what? They'll kill their own. They'll kill people that's like them. And that's rooted deep within the unconscious / subconscious mind. That's how rooted and how far we've been torn down. Okay, as a nation. That's a huge curse. How we're treated day to day, right? That's a curse. That implicit bias is a curse. We get on elevators, no matter where we work. We work in these different buildings, contractors, you name it. No matter where we work, you still got people that look at us funny. They're kind of nervous being around us. Even in 2025, we can be in a professional environment, this environment, that environment, no matter what. They still look at us differently. That's a curse for your ass, man. Right? Why? Because the Heavenly Father brought us down low. Right? Let me get some scriptures because I did a lot of talking. This is Deuteronomy 28:15. It says, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Right? Curse shall thou be in the city, and curse shall thou be in the field. Everywhere in the world, we were going to be cursed. Okay? Our people, we were going to be cursed. Curse shall thou be when thou comest in, and curse shall thou be when thou goest out. Okay? Let me keep going. Because all these curses right here is in that one video that the elder bro is going to show after that fool speaks his point. When it says, the Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke, and all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me. The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave upon thee, or unto thee, Salakia, until he have consumed thee from off the land, whither thou goest to possess it. The Lord shall smite thee with a consumption, and with a fever, and with an inflammation, and with an extreme burning, and with the sword, and with blasting, and with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish, man. And when I show that one clip that the brother puts up, that's all these curses in there, man. That's how low we've been brought down. Okay? Let me see. Let me go to the other one. Of course, I got to go to this one, because this plays into that implicit bias that I was talking about. Let me see. I think Salaki, it's further up. This is Deuteronomy 28:37. It says, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. See, we was going to become a proverb, a byword, and an astonishment among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. No other nation has gotten these curses like this. None. No other nations have gotten the level of bias against them as we have. You can say, yeah, this nation been through slavery. Yeah, this nation, they kill their own. Yeah, this nation does this and that, does that. But as a whole, when you combine all the curses, no nation on the planet has got it worse than us. None. That's how low the Lord has taken his people down. Like I said before, it takes a God to take down a godly people. It takes a God to take down the sons of God. Not saying it's hard, because the Heavenly Father can do whatever he wants to. He's all powerful. Yahweh Shem Shah is all powerful. What I'm saying is that These other nations can't do anything with us unless it's sanctioned by our God. They can't take us down by themselves. They have to have help from on high. The Lord took us down and he brought us low because of our wickedness that we have done against him. All right. We've been brought down so low that subconsciously people treat us like we're trash. I'm just going to explain it right then and there, right now. Okay. That's what I mean by the implicit bias. Okay. We've been brought so low that people treat us like trash without even knowing they're doing it. You go into a building, somebody, and I'm not saying all the time, but it hits us more than other people. You go into a building, somebody may not hold the door for you. You coming up, you know they see you. They let the door slam in your face. Now, if you know you was an Edomite or somebody else, that wouldn't happen. Okay? You go to walk across or a crosswalk, especially in the DC area, not other places. Other places are a little bit friendlier, you know, when you leave the DMV area. Okay? And some brothers know what I'm talking about. It's a spirit that's in the DMV that's this super wicked. You know, the love of many shall wax cold is heavy in the DMV area, man. You go to walk across a crosswalk that says stop for pedestrians, stop signs all over. Cars will see you and everything, and they'll keep going full speed. You walk across there, even though they have to stop, you getting hit. Meanwhile, I've seen cars slam their brakes, full speed, slam their brakes when an Edomite was about to cross the street. What could that be? And we're talking about our people. It's been a lot of homeless people going up asking for money. Jake was passing by, nobody don't got none. Nobody don't got none. No, I don't got none. Okay, and some of them truly don't have anything. But the ones that do, get away from my car, I don't got nothing. But they'll run to an Edomite that looks homeless and give him money over Jake's. They'll say, these Jakes, they look homeless. They obviously homeless. They drug addicts, something. But then again, they'll reach in their pocket and grab money to give to an Edomite or give to an Ishmaelite, even if they're running scams. Okay? I've seen years ago, hey, Shalom, Taz Adakda, Shalom, brother, Yahabashimel Shabrakda. I've seen years ago when I used to drive, a truck for security, right? I was stopped at a 7-Eleven in DC, and there was this homeless Edomite going around with a cup asking people for money. And all the Jakes, they had a positive reaction towards him. Like, I'll help you, you know what I mean? You've seen a couple Jakes giving them money. And then one Jake, you can tell what he was doing. He told him, like, I'm going to go in and get some money and come back. So he went in, that homeless appearing Edomite took the money out the cup. He dropped the cup and he took off. And that Jake came outside and was literally looking for the Edomite. He didn't come outside for a split second, like, where he at? And that's it. He damn near was circling around looking for the Edomite. Now tell me tell me, do you think that would be the same case if that was a Jake, a homeless Jake? Would he have been that eager to run around and help a Jake? I'm not saying he wouldn't have done it, but it's a high possibility, since we're under the heavy curses, that he wouldn't have done it. You see, that's how low we've been brought. That's how low our look has been brought into the world. We have a negative stigma that's been placed on our people. And it affects even the subconscious mind, that people treat us like trash and don't even know they're doing it. And you mean to tell me that the Amalekites over in the land of Israel, you're going to tell me that they're the real Jews? You got to be out of your goddamn mind, man. They got caught in New York with them underground tunnels and stuff like that. Mattresses down there with shit and blood on it. You know they had kids and stuff down there because it looked like it was a little mattress, right? They doing all types of wickedness. They even attacked the police. It was a video showing that they bum rushed the police that was after them. Guess what? All that got swept under the rug. What happened to that? What happened to that? You don't even hear nothing about the small hats in the New York tunnels anymore. You don't even hear it anymore. You see? You mean to tell me that those people are the children of Yahweh Shemel Shah, that those people are the real Jews? Yeah. This is brother put a few scriptures up. This is go up because brother put some decent scriptures up here. It's, Lamentations 1:5. All right, it says her adversaries are the chief, her enemies prosper. For the Lord have afflicted her for the multitude of her transgressions. And you know what, brother, if you can get Lamentation 2:15. All right, put Lamentation 2:15 up if you can. That's one of the scriptures I had, right? And it says her children are gone into captivity before the enemy. As a matter of fact, what's that one scripture? Basic and plain, but it's the other half of that scripture that came to my mind. This is Psalms 147 in verse 19. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. So not only his word, his statutes and his judgments. We're the ones who get the harsh judgment of Yahweh Shemel Shah for going off. Okay? Even his statutes and his judgments are unto Israel. Verse 20, he have not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye Yahweh Shemel Shah. So even if other nations went through a few of the what appears to be a few of the curses on our list, it's still not all the curses. It is not at the same level at that. We've been brought down. Okay? This is verse 6. And from the daughter of Zion, all her beauty is departed. Her princes are become like harts that find no pasture. And they are gone without strength before the pursuer. Verse 7. Jerusalem remembered in the days of her affliction. Yeah, Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. Jerusalem remembered in the days of her affliction and of her miseries all her pleasant things that she had in the days of old, when her people fell into the hand of the enemy. And none did help her. The adversaries saw her and did mock at her Sabbaths. Okay, Jerusalem have grievously sinned, therefore she is removed. All that honored her despised her, because they have seen her nakedness. Yea, she sigheth and turneth backwards. All right. The water, brother. Yep. Lamentations 2:15. All that pass by clap their hands at thee. They hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth? You see that? That scripture also plays with what? Implicit bias against Israel. Subconsciously, they're looking at us like pieces of shit, man. And not only the other nations, even our own nation. That's how low we've been casted down. I cannot stress that enough. Now I want to get that video. Go back to that video. So I'm going to make it bigger and play it from this point. Let's see.
What are you doing?
Touch me. See what's happening. Nobody's persecuting black folk in America. The Hebrew Israelites want us to ignore the persecution that the real Jews are experiencing all over the world. In the news, just today, college campuses get...
He said nobody is persecuting, all right, so-called black people in America. He said nobody. Are you out of your mind? What world are you living in? What news are you watching? Okay. Well, let me see. What's the statistic? Estimated. Let me see if it comes up. Estimated how many. Let me see. Cops. Let me just get this. Let me see. Look at this. While the exact number fluctuates yearly, data indicates that hundreds of so-called black people are killed by police in the U.S. annually. Here's a breakdown of what recent data suggests. 2024, as of November 17th, 2024, 277 black people, so-called, right, were killed by police in the United States. Disproportionate impact. Although so-called black people make up roughly 13% of the U.S. population. And I want to say this too, because I did mention it earlier. I said Latinos and Native Americans. It's not a black thing, by the way. I just want to stress that out. I may be saying that because, ultimately, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, that's the head tribe. Starting with Judah, it's the head tribe. They are the tribe that gets the most impacted over here. But please keep in mind, the so-called Latinos and Native Americans get their fair fucking share, man. Okay? So it's not a so-called black thing. Okay? There are people too. And they catch hell on a reservation. Okay, they catch hell. Look what's going on right now with ICE. People getting separated from their families as we speak. Okay, there's a lot going on. Okay, but I just wanted to stress that. It says, although so-called black people make up roughly 13% of the U.S. population, they're killed by police at a significantly higher rate compared to other racial and ethnic groups. And that's just police. What about other things that Jake is suffering from? Not getting the proper jobs, not getting the proper resources. Okay? The statistic that a Edomite with a record can get a job faster than a Jake with an education, so-called, in this society. What about redlining that still exists to this day? What about loans that's not being given to Jake as is being given to the Edomites? It's all types of stuff. We have the history. The U.S. who brings weapons in the hood and just drops them off? And why did they do that? You know why they did it, but it's a question to these numbskulls out here, man. You see, it's all types of stuff that's happening to Jake left and right, but you got a stupid nigga like this, okay? The stupid nigga like this talking, man. All right. Nigga got 266 teeth in his mouth, man, with a Shirley Temple wig on, man. Come on, dog. You a dude and you got your hair curled up like that, like the brother said. All right, look like a fucking Raggedy Ann doll, Raggedy Andy doll. All right, talking about we don't catch anything. All right, well wait, you're gonna catch Jacob's trouble. Wait till that happens.
It's shut down by protesters. Jews being attacked. The attacks happen in Israel. Israel is at war right now. The Hebrew Israelites are in America chilling with us, free as a bird.
And Hebrew Israelites are scattered all over the globe. You have Israelites in other countries, okay? That's catching all our hell. What about the Haitians, man? The Haitians are over there eating mud cookies. See, it's bigger. Wisdom is too high for a fool. And the scripture talks about if you can't even understand earthly things, how can you understand heavenly things, man? You can't even understand that. Okay?
The fuck is he talking about?
Look at Jake. Look at Jake. And this is just one picture. It's Jake going through all out hell all over the globe. like the brother put Amos 3 in verse 1. Hear this word that Yahweh Shemel Shai, okay, have spoken against you, O children of Israel. Hear this word that he have spoken against you. There goes that word to Israel again. Against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, our verse 2, you only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities. You see that? All right. That links up with the Psalms 147. Okay, and 19 and 20. All right. We are the ones that got punished heavily from Yahweh Shemel Shai. All right. And this, you got a nigga talking about we over here chilling. That's because your eyes are closed, man. That's because the Lord hasn't opened your eyes to the truth. All right. You see.
Me roasting y'all in the comments, me roasting y'all with this debunking Hebrew Israelites series, the 4th video. I'm picking them apart. This is what they asked for, and I'm giving it to them. Every nation on earth has been through some things that look like the curses in Deuteronomy, that look like prophecies throughout the Bible. Different.
That's why I went over what I went over. Shalom, Amawan, Abba, Yahweh Shemel Shabrak, bro. And that's why I went over what I went over earlier. That all the curses combined Israel went through. And then there's even levels to it. The levels of the same thing that another nation may have went through, the levels are just astronomical compared to what Israel went through as compared to what the heathen went through, man. A heathen may have gotten picked up and taken somewhere by way of ship, but not on a level of as the transatlantic slave trade. Not on the level of the trade from the Americas going back to Europe, where the Native Americans went back. All right, not on the same. It's even the levels are different. All right.
Different people groups have been through slavery. Black people weren't the only people suffering in the transatlantic slave trade. Different people groups have been persecuted against racism and nationalism. So every people group has suffered some of what the Israelites have suffered through. But to think that we're just going to ignore 3,000 years of history from Deuteronomy to the transatlantic slave trade, like 70 AD, the Romans conquered Israel. They tore down the temple, right? And then the Jewish diaspora, the Jews were scattered at that time all over the world. You want us to forget that? Like, we just
shows you how much of a stupid ass this nigga is. Who do you think we're talking about when we're out there? We always talk about we're being scattered. James 1:1, to the Israelites that are scattered abroad, greeting. What the fuck are you talking about? And guess what? James said that in the spirit too, because during the time of James, which was the Lord's brother, the other tribes, the other 9 tribes is over here in Americas. And he still said to the 12 tribes that are scattered abroad, greeting. All right, you did have a small remnant of the northern tribes that stayed behind, but still the majority of the tribes are over here in the New World, so-called, the Western Hemisphere. What is he talking about? Israel took over during the Dark Ages. Then we started losing power during the Renaissance period. What are you talking? We talk about 70 AD. Yahweh Shai himself spoke about 70 AD. See, that's a nigga for you, man. Yeah, like the brother said, complete sissy in the agent, you know? This agent activity. And there's always a nigga talking. We'll see how these people act during Jacob's trouble, and we'll see. See, right now you got your platform that's talking about, I'm debunking, I'm making a part 4, I'm giving it to them, roasting them, that's what they want. And we still gonna be here. You can't keep up with the spirit, nigga. My nigga, you can't keep up with the spirit, man. You can't. All right? Many have tried, many have failed. You have the whole black conscience community coming up against us, and they fucking failed. That as carnal as them niggas are. Oh yeah, you got to know this, you got to know that, my brother. You got to have the resource and the documentation. All those niggas failed. And we're still here. Okay? Vocab Malone failed. All them cats failed. We're still here preaching. You did not stop anything. The only thing you can do is be carnal and talk, try to come heckle and all this other stuff. But in dealing with the scriptures, you're not. And in the instance of Vocab Malone, we dealt with the same scriptures over and over and over through the years, man. Through the years. He already knows what we bring out. And we broke it down already. He's circling around trying to bring a new understanding, which is the scripture says the scriptures is not of any private interpretation, man. He's trying to bring a new interpretation to the scriptures, man. Completely butchering the scriptures. Okay? Trying to fit the same narrative, all right, that they've always been teaching. Everybody can make it. So all that studying that those niggas is doing, the average church-going person has the same understanding as them. Think about that. All that studying they're doing. And the average person that don't know nothing, that goes to church, amen, Jesus knows the same exact much as they do. Think about that. It all circles around to everybody can make it, right? And they don't even know what that means. Okay, everybody is going to make it in the kingdom of heaven. Guess what? Newsflash. Everybody's going to make it in the kingdom of heaven. It's just going to be a ruling class that's going to be above everybody in the kingdom of heaven. That's going to be the Israelites. And everybody else is going to be slaves and then turn into tributaries underneath the Israelites. That's the difference. The Israelites are going to rule in the kingdom of heaven. All right? You can no longer keep saying you keep saying we're not going to make it, we're not going to be saved. No, you're going to make it in the kingdom of heaven. You're going to be there. All right? But there's going to be a group of people that's going to be the ruling class over everybody that you're going to have to bow down to. And by the way, you're not going to be saved by the thermonuclear missiles that's coming. That's only for the Israelites. All right? Let me see. Keep going.
It's gonna skip over that, and then we just gonna fast forward 1,500 years, and then the transatlantic slave trade started, and now it's like, this is it.
And again, a nigga with a platform, they'll speak their own shit, even though we talk about everything. We talk about the time in between, from the Roman period on up. We talk about all this. But he wants to set his own narrative, say, oh, we're skipping through. That's bullshit, man. That's complete BS. The scripture talks about the bottomless pit. What time frame do you think that was in? He went to the bottomless pit, Europe, the place with no resources, man. That's in the scriptures, man. That's after 70 AD. And that's before the transatlantic slave trade, dummy. All right. Let me get the scripture because the brother had it up here earlier. I know a brother put it up here. Yeah, seest thou, Proverbs 26:12, seest thou a man wise in his own conceit? There is more hope of a fool than of him. Niggas wise in his own conceit. All right, now let me get some other things. Go back to that implicit bias. All right. So going more into it, implicit biases are often formed, all right, through exposure to cultural messages and stereotypes. But it also says, if I didn't read it before, I'll read it again. Implicit bias refers to unconscious attitudes, stereotypes, or associations that affect our understanding, actions, and decisions. These biases are activated involuntarily and without an individual's awareness, even when they consciously reject prejudice. So a person can say, I'm not racist. No, I don't do this. I don't do that. But their subconscious makes them do otherwise. Okay? The real them. It says implicit biases are often formed through exposure to cultural messages and stereotypes. Hold on just a second. It says These biases are activated involuntarily without an individual's awareness, even when they consciously reject prejudice. Implicit biases are often formed through exposure to cultural messages and stereotypes. How implicit bias impacts Black people, so-called healthcare. Studies show that healthcare providers with higher levels of implicit bias may be less likely to recommend so-called Black patients for specialist referrals, or may opt for more evasive treatments. You see that? Employment. Managers with implicit bias might be less likely to invite so-called Black candidates for job interviews or provide positive performance reviews. Criminal justice. Implicit bias can influence sentencing, with studies suggesting that Black defendants might receive longer sentences compared to white individuals for similar offenses. You see that? These are the curses. Even for people that say, I'm not racist. No, I don't do this. No, I don't believe that. Their actions, deep actions in their subconscious shows otherwise. Moving on, it says interpersonal interactions. Individuals with strong implicit biases against so-called Black people might exhibit less warmth and welcoming behavior, such as maintaining greater distance or displaying negative facial expressions. Exactly. Because we've been brought down so low in their subconscious mind, it's embedded in them to treat us like trash, and they don't even know they're doing it. Okay? It says the impact of microaggression, systematic racism, and an implicit bias. I'll just skip this and get the systematic racism. Systemic racism, it says systemic, not systematic. Systemic racism, which encompasses policies and practices that perpetuate racial inequality, is intertwined with implicit bias. Implicit bias can contribute to the maintenance of systemic racism by influencing decisions within various institutions and perpetuating discriminatory outcomes. You see that? It says, important note, it's crucial to remember that not all individuals hold implicit biases, and the presence of such biases does not automatically equate to intentional discrimination, but they're doing it unintentionally. All right. And that was the first time I typed this in. When I got home, I got this one. So it's pretty much the similar thing. Talks about health care, right? Lower quality of care. Studies have linked higher levels of implicit bias in healthcare providers to lower quality of care and disparities in treatment for so-called Black patients. Differential treatment recommendations, disparities in pain management. So-called Black patients may be less likely to receive adequate pain medication or have their pain taken as seriously due to implicit biases regarding pain tolerance. See? To have their pain even taken seriously. Check this out. That's where the spirit's rolling. I'm gonna go from there to this. Check this out. This is from Facebook. Check this out.
Hey, hold on, he's just want to no, he's loosening.
Now read, it says how one arrest led to the most expensive lawsuit in police history. Check.
What about now? All right, my man, step in there. All right. Yo. That's right.
The officers place Mr. Cox in the back of the transport wagon in handcuffs, but use no additional body or safety restraints to secure him in the vehicle seats, as the vehicle was not outfitted with seat belts.
Now you see what just happened to this Jake, right? This is an all-metal vehicle. Remember, he has no other restraints. So when they hit the brake, he went slide and hit head first on his metal door with that speed. Keep this in mind.
While Officer Diaz is driving Mr. Cox to the detention center, he slams on the brakes to avoid hitting another vehicle, causing Mr. Cox to be thrown headfirst into the transport wagon. The video footage shows that Officer Diaz was traveling at 36 miles per hour, 11 miles per hour over the speed limit.
Are you all right? That car went right in front of us and we almost got hit, bro. What's going on? Huh? You what? All right, hold on. All right, I'll get you an ambulance when we get there, okay?
No.
What do you mean no? I'm not gonna open the door now, so you know that, all right? I can see you on the camera. You're on the side. Get up. What happened? What? You fell. What happened? Can you move at all?
I can't move.
How your leg is all the way up there?
Understand me, listen, brother.
All right, I can't move you, so I have to hold on. I'm gonna have to go get an ambulance.
Listen, no.
Huh?
Yes, but understand.
Yeah, go ahead.
I fall. I cannot move my arms.
Listen, I got an ambulance coming for you. All right? Just give me 1 second. I'm taking you there right now.
After realizing that Mr. Cox has been seriously injured, Officer Diaz leaves him in the back of the transport wagon, calls an ambulance, and continues driving him to the detention center, where he is met by Sergeant Betsy Segui, Officer Ronald Presley, Officer Jocelyn Lavandier, and Officer Luis Rivera.
All right, I go for an ambulance. When on the way here, somebody calls me over, so I stop in the brake, but I don't know. He said he fell inside the van, and he's all, I opened the door and checked. I was talking to him, and he said he can't move.
I cannot move. I'm on one leg.
Just be careful. He was kicking the door and everything else before. All right, ready? Try to stretch that leg first.
You see his leg?
Do you see that leg to the wall? Exactly.
Stretch out, Cox. Stretch your arm out.
Put your arm out.
Put your arm out. You don't have cuffs anymore. Take them out from behind your back. There we go. Now move your leg down. Move your leg.
Just roll it over to the side.
Listen, bro.
Sit up.
I can't move.
You're not even trying.
Remember earlier we talked about how they don't take Jake's pain seriously. Now, if there's an injury like that, there are certain things that they're supposed to be doing. And they're not doing it. You want to know why? Because it's a Jake. And like I said, not only do the other nations, even our own people do this. But that's because of how low we've been brought down as a nation, right? We're not taken as seriously, right? We've been brought that low. And keep going.
Tell them that I get it.
Listen.
I'm not even joking about it. You gotta get more by the shoulder.
Look.
All right.
Turn your body.
You hurt me more.
No, I'm trying to turn your body.
Turn your body. You're not listening.
You're not even trying.
There we go. Turn your body. See?
Hold on. That's
Okay, now stretch out.
Come on, or we're gonna pull you out.
Slide down, my man.
No, Jay.
Yeah, slide down so you can get out of here.
Look. If you're going to drive me, do what y'all do.
All right.
Yep.
I like all right, myself.
What's the hand?
All right.
Now, almost there. You're almost there. You gotta get your shoulders out. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Stand up. There we go. All right. Get up. How you making up? Ready? Actually, go get that shit.
Get the
Yeah. Hey, bitch, what's going on, man? Bitch, what's going on? Huh?
You ain't cracking. You just drank too much.
Look at that. See, I think I cracked my neck. You ain't crack your neck. You just drank too much. If there's a neck injury, they're supposed to straighten them out, put a brace around his neck, and prepare him for that ambulance that's on its way. And look at him, because he's Jake, they're treating him like he's trash. And this is the subconscious mind. Now, if it was an Edomite right in there, imagine if it had been an Edomite woman. They would have been jumping to help, even though she's coming out the back of a police vehicle.
No, you drank too much.
I can't feel it.
Sit up.
Oh my God, yo.
Yeah, sit up. You're doing extra. Sit up.
Instead of waiting for the ambulance to arrive, the officers dragged Mr. Cox out of the transport wagon and place him in a wheelchair. The universally accepted procedure where a neck injury is suspected is to avoid moving the injured individual and to immobilize the spine until medical professionals can properly stabilize and transport them.
Sit up. What else did you have? Did you have any drugs out there?
Listen, no, it's fine.
You're not fine. How many did you? Okay. How much did you have to drink?
Oh my God, yo. My neck cut, I can't.
No, Pops, that down. Don't work too hard. Not working too hard.
I can't read.
No, we don't want you to do anything. Just worry about it. Is that all right? Just grab it all.
Dragging this Jake with a cracked neck across the damn floor. You see? You see how low we've been brought as a people, and you're going to tell me you're going to have an agent, Jerry Curl, Soul Glow, Shirley Temple, faggot-ass nigga say something, man. You see? Faggot, man. Say something. We'll see you people say something when all hell breaks loose, when you don't have a platform anymore. We'll see. The same shall know it after death by pain. All right? It's levels to the curses that the Lord put on us. And rightfully so, by the way, I'll say. Rightfully so, because that's how far we pissed them off. But it's levels to this, man. And you're going to put the so-called fucking Jews, the Amalekites, and say they're the Lord's chosen people? Since you into prophecies so much, talking about prophecies, prove through prophecy that they're the real Israelites, man. We go back to that, the rest of that.
Hey. Oh, sit up on here. Hey.
Mr. Cox was left handcuffed in the cell until an ambulance arrived. He was then taken to Yale New Haven Hospital, arriving nearly an hour after he was injured, where it was determined that he had suffered a cervical spine.
Look at that. That he suffered a cervical spine what?
Fracture resulting in permanent paralysis below.
Permanent paralysis
Below his neck.
Below his neck. Permanent paralysis below his neck. And then you had them stupid ass 4 cops looking all stupid in a mugshot. And then they're gonna say, "Oh, I don't know what happened. You have too much to drink." The cop already told on himself early and said, "I hit the brake. I hit the brake, man. I had to hit the brake because the car cut me off." So you know the reason why he was all over the place. You see? Let me get another one.
Program about, theoretically, how an open carry advocate would be treated incredibly different if he was white or if he was black. Now, we hypothesized about this. Some open carry activists decided to actually test it. And
some brothers, you've probably seen this before. Shalom Tazapunya. Yabashimel Shabrakta, bro. And some brothers, I was just in the, in the spirit and the heat of the moment. I saw you earlier, but I was just, rolling through it. All right. Some brothers may have seen this before. All right. I'm just showing it up again because this plays into the implicit bias. Right.
And these two videos you're going to see back to back show the different ways that police actually respond to these open carry advocates. Let's watch.
How you doing, sir?
Hey,
Howdy.
can I see your IDs?
No, sir. No.
Why not?
You guys don't have to. I'm not doing any crime.
Okay. Any particular reason why you're carrying the AR, especially around this point?
I'm just exercising my right.
I understand that, but is there a reason why you're doing it?
I want to walk around.
Oh, of course.
He pulled out the gun. He's getting down. The gun. He's just walking up and carrying.
I do not consent to any search and seizure of my property. Sir, just relax. Relax. Is this weapon real or is it it's an AR-15?
They're taking his weapon.
So you see
that? And you're going to tell me that everybody else is cursed or they received the curses the same way we did. You're going to tell me that. All right, check this one out.
Black people with legal guns can't catch a break. Over the holidays, police killed 21-year-old E.J. Bradford after a shooting broke out at River Chase Galleria Mall near Birmingham, Alabama. The Hoover Police Department initially said they shot a suspect connected to the shooting, when in fact it was an innocent bystander who was licensed to carry a weapon. The department went from saying the officer who shot E.J. Bradford was heroic to basically blaming the victim, releasing this statement. We can say with certainty Mr. Bradford brandished a gun during the seconds following the gunshots, which instantly heightened the sense of threat to approaching police officers responding to the chaotic scene. Basically, it wasn't our fault. Again, we ask, why is it that black men specifically can't be heroes? Why do they get shot first, with questions being asked later? The same happened to 26-year-old Jamel Roberson, a brave security guard in Robbins, Illinois, who responded to a call about shots fired. When Roberson apprehended the suspect and pinned him down, witnesses say police showed up and shot him, despite them screaming that he was a security guard. The irony is that Roberson dreamed of being a police officer. There's been strong backlash since both shootings. Protesters shut down the highway near the River Chase Galleria Mall in Alabama, and E.J. Bradford's family says police have yet to reach out to them. In the meantime, they've hired lawyer Benjamin Crump. And in Illinois, Jamel Roberson's mother filed a federal civil rights lawsuit against the officer who shot her son and the village where it happened. The NRA commented about both incidents. Oh wait, the NRA didn't comment at all. And that's because when it comes to having a gun in America, when you're black, there's always a double standard. Should there be laws enacted to protect black people with guns? Hit us in the comments with your thoughts and check out thegrio.com for more on these stories.
Again, the level of curses that hit us is on a different level. All right. Psalms 147:19, again, he showed his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Yasha Allah. He have not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. All right. Zechariah 11:4, thus saith the Lord, my power, Yahweh Shemel Shai, my power, feed the flock of the slaughter, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. This is how low we are, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. Got to get the other one. This is Psalms 83 and verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh Shemel Shai. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. What a Lord's treasure. What an apple of his eye. Okay. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. And guess what? This is not only are they knowingly doing this, they're subconsciously doing this as well. All right, like we read through the different definitions and examples of implicit biases. All right, let me see. Go back to this. Lack of empathy. Implicit biases can reduce empathy and compassion for so-called Black patients, affecting the overall quality of care delivered. And it's in education. And you can freeze these if you want to read them, or you can type in this in Google. Black people subconsciously treated. All right, see what comes up. Workplace, hiring discrimination, limited opportunities for advancement, performance evaluations, social interactions, right? These people don't want to be around us, and not just because of the YNs and the nigga shit, it's because of how we're viewed and how low Yahweh Shemel Shai took us down. We are truly cursed. But the beautiful thing is, the Lord said that what? He will not forsake his people. All right? He will not forsake his people. And the Lord has brought back, all right, who we are back to us again. All right? And now that we're coming into our nationality, these people can't stand it. All right? And call Haloim Yahweh Shemel Shai for that. All right? I'll go ahead and end it on that. Call Haloim Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Chakudash. And as always, to the elect, I say double shalom.